I'ma let the beat drop. Oh my gosh. Good fucking morning.
Pixie bitch.
Holy shit. Damn, I am just such a little princess on camera. Oof, that tastes good. I drink English breakfast tea every morning for breakfast. Oh my god, it's warming my soul. Okay, so today I thought that I would just have a chat with you guys because that's the type of videos that I like to watch. So I thought that you should be creating the content that you consume, right? It's a little bit niche, but the things that I think about are kind of niche. So those are the things that I'm gonna talk about. For reference, I will be using my journal entries because sometimes I just write things that even surprise myself. Sometimes it just be making a lot of sense. Today, we're going to be talking about avoidant connections, aka people who don't really give a fuck about you. No, people that are avoidant are misunderstood. It's not that they don't care. It's just that it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel safe. So I wrote a whole diary entry about avoidant connection. I just want to explain some of my thoughts. Let me wait for the plane to go. I think the audio will be fine. Oh my gosh, this is a bit of a handful to be talking about. Like, it is a little bit of a handful to explain, but I'm gonna do my best. So basically, I have a problem of idealizing avoidant connection, deeping it deeper than it actually is. I'm just so intrigued by the mystery, the uncertainty. It's not all there, so it makes me curious. I'm like, what could it be? What is it gonna be? Spoiler alert, probably nothing more than it actually is right now. Now, for me as somebody who values closeness and values vulnerability, that kind of directly conflicts with what avoidant means. I actually want closeness. I actually want connection. An avoidant is basically like my worst enemy. I need to be able to recognize... Oops, Smeagol's here. If you guys don't know who that is my cat. I value depth. And in order to achieve something, you need to be able to accurately identify it. If you're idealizing avoidant connections, then you are warping your sense of closeness and sense of intimacy because you're creating this whole world space where it's intimate and it's attractive. This is a personal problem, okay? I do not actually align with those values, so it doesn't really make sense for me to be feeling that way. If you're a little bit confused right now, me too. What I'm saying, in order to achieve something, you need to be able to identify it. If I want a connection that is close, I need to be able to identify what that looks like. Romanticizing avoidant connection is not accurately identifying closeness. Those two are kind of opposite or conflicting. Obviously it's not black and white and people aren't this or the other. It's very complex. If I want closeness, why is all my attention going towards someone who can't give me that, you know? Because it's not there. And a lot of that comes from desire and this idea that you can create a reality that doesn't exist, which is true. You can actually do that, and that is very real. Understanding your environment is grounded in truth. Okay, well, I just got the text to run it up, so I have to go to the studio. That was a very short conversation. I feel like I did not get across anything that I was trying to get across. Because I view avoidant people as super deep and complex and mysterious. In my head, they'll be able to love me on a deeper level because I have this concept that they are just super deep people. In reality, you're not accepting that person for who they are. If you cannot accept who somebody is, then the foundation that you're building is rocky. And I've done that before in past relationships where I've been like, oh no, It doesn't matter that they can't see me fully or they can't hold space for me in the way that I can hold space for them, because I have this idea of who they are. And that's not fair to you or the other person, because you are creating this expectation of them that they cannot actually fulfill. How you can combat idealizing avoidant connection is to accept people for who they are. When you accept somebody's capacity, you hold space for your own needs and you recenter your own experience. If you idealize this version of somebody, you are basically saying that your needs for closeness, your desire for connection, that all doesn't matter, which is not true, because if you desire to connect with people and to be close and to feel seen, then you deserve that. And so you need to really accept that they're not going to see you in the way that you want to be seen. And honestly, maybe there's a little bit of an avoidant tendency in you if you're pursuing somebody who can't actually fully meet you where you can be seen. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you don't actually want to be seen, so you keep pursuing them because there's no real threat. That's some thoughts that I'm working through. I don't know if that applies to you. That's kind of something that I'm thinking about. So recenter your needs and your boundaries and differentiate that from somebody else's capacity. I used to just have this bad habit of daydreaming about people that probably didn't think about me as much as I thought about them, and I would create this imaginary reality in my head that didn't actually exist. And so I'm just trying to help you guys out a little, or I'm just trying to talk on my own experience. They're not cool and mysterious. They just literally do not care. They actually don't care. Go find somebody who cares. Go pay attention to who is pursuing you, not necessarily romantically, but within connection. Who is giving energy to you? Who is seeking to hold space for you? And hold space for those people instead. But yeah, so I had to tell myself I'm uninterested in pursuing connections that I'm reading off my notes here. I'm uninterested in pursuing emotionally avoidant dynamics because I crave depth and closeness. And that is something that factually I align with. Emotionally, we're getting there. I don't want to be interested in somebody that's not interested in me. And I can choose that, and I can kind of rationalize that in my head. You can probably identify the depth of a person or the capacity. You need to identify that accurately. It might change, and people can change, but you need to see people for who they are accurately and then create the expectation based off of that. Your perception needs to be based off of reality and their capacity, and that is a difficult thing to do. It's all different. We connect differently with different people on different levels. Be able to identify that accurately. That can always transform into something else. You can always get closer with somebody, manifest things. Manifestation is real, magic is real, but it is grounded in reality. It is based in reality. Connecting with people is more authentic if you can see them for who they truly are, not who you want them to be. Who they are, you're gonna get less hurt. They're gonna feel less pressure. You will actually love a real version of themselves that exists. Not this version that you made up in your head. But then again, we are all just versions of each other's in our heads. Like, I exist in the way I perceive myself, and in the way that you perceive me, and in the way that I think that you perceive me. And so there's like 3 different versions of me existing right now, or 4. Me, unperceived, just like in reality. Me, as in the ego, the way I perceive myself. Your perception of me. And then my perception of your perception of me, who I think you think I am. So there's a whole lot of perceptions going around, and only one of them is real. Even my perception of myself isn't even real. I'm trying to perceive myself more neutrally and more in alignment with reality. Dynamics come into play with that because I don't just exist as myself. I exist in relation to other people, and specifically if we're talking about avoidant connections, if I place myself in that dynamic, I create this warped perception, and it might be harmful. Avoidants don't really have the best rep. Protect your energy, take care of yourself, understand your needs and your values and your boundaries. Appreciate people for who they are. Learn grow, love yourself regardless, LOL, live out loud. And have a good day, guys. I'll catch you next time. Hey, what are we gonna chat about next time? Hey!